Hand-me-down clothes. You might not think they're all that trendy, like your big brother's old swimsuit. That's just weird, dude. But right now, I'm wearing a piece of hand-me-down clothing that I actually think is pretty cool. This leather jacket used to belong to my dad, Jay. He played football at the University of Minnesota back in the 80s. But as awesome as this jacket is, there's something way cooler my dad handed down to me. You'll know what I mean after I tell you a quick Bible story about hand-me-down clothing. Elijah was the head prophet to Israel, and he called people to turn away from false gods and worship the one true God. One day, Elijah, with a J, is traveling with the guy he's mentoring, Elisha, with an SH. They stop beside the Jordan River, which is nowhere near the river I'm standing in front of currently. Now, Elijah is wearing a cloak that shows he's a legit prophet, and he takes his cloak and strikes the water with it. The river divides, and Elijah and Elisha cross on dry ground. Then Elisha says to Elijah, "Please let me inherit a double share of your spirit and become your successor." Elisha wants to carry on Elijah's ministry someday when Elijah's gone. Then suddenly, a huge whirlwind carries Elijah up to heaven. In the process, Elijah's cloak falls to the ground. So Elisha picks up Elijah's cloak and he strikes the water with it too. The river divides again and Elisha goes across. When the group of prophets from Jericho saw from a distance what happened, they exclaimed, "Elijah's spirit rests upon Elisha." Elisha would go on to have an amazing ministry that lasted more than 50 years. He would perform lots of miracles that displayed God's power and love for people. And that all started when Elisha picked up Elijah's hand-me-down cloak. But is that all that Elijah handed down to Elisha? And is this hand-me-down jacket all that my dad has handed down to me? Not even close. You see, a big part of the reason I love telling people about Jesus
3 touchdown receptions against Ohio State. More than justified Jay Carroll putting his blessing on the whole affair.
is because my dad showed me how to do it. My dad handed down his godly wisdom, leadership, and encouragement. And Elijah handed down the same kinds of things to Elisha. So who shows you how to follow God? Say thank you to them today. And who can you show how to follow God? You're never too young to set a great example, because God doesn't want us to keep our faith to ourselves. He wants us to hand it down.